Right guys, this is actually the first time I've actually set up this emulator myself. I haven't used it before because there was only really one game I wanted to try, and that was Uncharted, but you know, it never worked until recently that well. So we'll get started. This is a PS Vita emulator. So once you download it, you just right click, extract here, or wherever you want to store the game. Remember, you need WinRAR or WinZip to use the emulator. So once it's extracted, you'll end up with this folder. Open it up, and I have one ROM, Uncharted, and here's the firmware. When you install it, it'll ask you to install firmware, and you have to install two different ones. So what we'll do, we'll start Vita3K. First, choose your language. Mine's obviously United Kingdom, but not obviously to you lot. You probably don't know where I come from. Right, change emulator path. So I'm only doing this temporarily. So mine's obviously on desktop. Select folder. Then next. Now you want to install the firmware. Retard. Sorry, I didn't need to do that because it's already actually in the folder. So install firmware files, and it should automatically point you to the right folder. Firmware, then open. Right, this normally takes quite a while to actually install, so I'm going to pause it here for a minute. Right, the firmware is now installed, and it says font package, but that's still classed as firmware. So if we go back to install firmware files, and we'll go back, and here's your fonts. Highlight it, click open. Right, that's done now. And click next. I don't know much about the PSP, but I've got it in quid mode, so it's like the PSP. And info bar is like your frames per second. So then go to next. You have now completed initial setup. Okay. Then you don't have to worry about this at all now. So untick it, close. So now it says create user. That's my nickname at school, that was Penny. Automatic login, and choose Penny, or whatever your username is going to be, I should say. May as well update it. I didn't have this earlier, but you may as well. So right now we're on this screen. All you've got to do is click with your mouse. Right, now we'll go up to configuration, settings. I've kept it all on automatic. It seems to work fine. CPU. I have tried unicorn, but it doesn't seem to do a lot, so I've kept it on dynamic. GPU, on Uncharted it doesn't work and doesn't display right on OpenGL, so here you got your renderer backend, click on Vulkan. FXAA does work, and so does anisotropic filtering. Obviously it's going to be different for each game. Obviously you use shader cache because the more shaders it compiles, the better the game will run eventually. But with Uncharted I found that none of the scaling resolutions work. Might give it a try as it's updated, but you know, it's doubtful. System, that's just what button you want to press to, you know, go into the game. And I've left this all the same. Performance overlay, yes, for frames per second. And you can choose minimal, low, and it'll show different, you know, stuff within the overlay. And I've kept all this the same. So then go save and close. Right, for all the games, you go to File, Install, Zip or VPK. The games I've downloaded are in zip format. If you unzip them and you just got the folder, it will not work. So leave them actually zipped up. And this never worked the first time. Select File. So go to where your emulator is, which is in Desktop. ROMs. And it doesn't actually show it there. But if you use the drop down menu, you will see it here. Then click Open. This normally does take a while to install, so I'm going to pause it for a minute and I'll be back in a mo. Right, now that's done, you can delete the actual zip file if you want, but because it installs it into the emulator, but I always like to keep a backup. So click OK. Then controls, I haven't had to worry about the controls at all. It automatically picks up my Xbox controller, and hopefully it should do for you as well. Even though it's flashing red means it needs charging, but we'll give it a shot. Right, down here on the book that skips.
Gotta get up there. Of course, that's easier said than done.
You can actually add reshade to the game, which I've added on my version. So I've changed a lot of the colours and stuff on it. I've added TAA sharpening and stuff. So there you go, guys, that works fine. And as we've had a new update, I will try the resolution scaling. I haven't figured out how to stop the game yet. I just press F11 to window it, then escape. But we'll see if the actual resolution scaling does work, which I have no hope that it does. Because when I tried it earlier, I just kept getting weird colours going through the game. Right, that's at pretty much 1080p, and I tried every single configuration possible, even clearing the cache, but it still didn't display right. No, there you go, it's liney again. So obviously there's a problem with the resolution scaling. And I did try it in game as well, but no luck. So there you go, guys, that's the emulator. You know, just send us an email. Cheers.